Before the fame, before the headlines, before the breakdown the world couldn't stop watching, Britney Spears was already fighting a hidden battle no one knew about. Britney Spears, the name alone, evokes images of pop perfection, glittering stages, platinum hits, and the ultimate American dream. But behind the sequins, the choreography, and the flawless smile lies a story the world rarely saw. A story of pressure, control, and heartbreak that began long before she became the Princess of Pop. Today on Fame and Fortune, we're diving deep into the hidden breakdown behind Britney Spears' fame, exploring the rise, the fall, and the shocking truths that shaped one of the most iconic careers in music history. And stay with me until the end, because the moment that truly shattered Britney and the hidden truth that finally set her free are things the world never fully understood. Britney Jean Spears was born on the 2nd of December 1981 in Macomb, Mississippi, and raised in Kentwood, Louisiana. From a young age, it was clear she was different, energetic, driven, and seemingly born to perform. Dance recitals, talent shows, and local television appearances filled her childhood, painting the picture of a star in the making. But what often goes unnoticed is the immense pressure placed on a child with a dream that would soon reach global scrutiny. While other kids worried about homework or friends, Britney's life revolved around perfecting routines, hitting the right notes, and maintaining a flawless image. Her parents, like many stage parents, were torn between nurturing her talent and protecting their daughter from the harsh glare of fame, a balance that would prove nearly impossible to maintain. What no one realized at the time was how quickly things were starting to crack beneath the surface. But even then, pressures were building inside her life that no one around her was truly seeing. By the time she was 11, Britney had already landed a spot on the Mickey Mouse Club, a launchpad for many young stars. She rubbed shoulders with future icons, but unlike her co-stars, her journey felt like a race against time. The show was meant to be a stepping stone, but for Britney, it was the first step into a world where childhood was optional and mistakes were public. Every smile was scrutinized, every performance critiqued, and behind the glimmering television lights, a young girl learned the first lesson of fame. The world expects perfection. It was here that the first invisible cracks began to appear. And this constant demand for perfection would soon come at a devastating cost. At 16, Britney's life changed forever. Signed to Jive Records, she released her debut album, Baby One More Time, in 1999. The album was a global sensation, catapulting her into instant superstardom. She became the embodiment of teen pop, and her image, a blend of innocence and sensuality, was marketed to perfection. Music videos, magazine covers, and relentless tours kept her constantly in the public eye. But this meteoric rise came at a cost. The very industry that elevated her also began to dictate every move she made. From the songs she sang to the outfits she wore, Britney's identity began to blur with the persona that the world demanded. Behind the music and the fame, an intense pressure was mounting, and Britney, like many young stars before her, was caught in a system that prioritized profit over mental health. As her career soared, her personal life became an equally public spectacle. Romantic relationships, family disputes, and even her physical appearance were dissected in tabloids worldwide. Every choice Britney made was scrutinized, judged, and magnified. The young woman who once danced in her bedroom for fun now lived under the weight of global expectations. Fans adored her, but the constant spotlight created an invisible prison. She had fame, fortune, and recognition, but she had little control over her own life. Every action was a performance, every smile a mask, and every misstep a headline. The pressure to remain flawless, both personally and professionally, was relentless. The early 2000s marked a critical turning point. Britney was transitioning from teen idol to adult superstar, and the world expected her to navigate this shift flawlessly. However, fame has a way of exposing vulnerabilities, and for Britney, the cracks began to show. Relationships became turbulent, and personal struggles that had been simmering behind closed doors started to surface. Paparazzi followed her every move, capturing not just the glamorous moments, but the private, often painful ones. Every meltdown, every argument, every tear was splashed across magazines and websites. Yet what the world saw was only the surface of something far more devastating. But what the world saw was only the surface. The real breakdown was happening where no camera could reach. The scrutiny was suffocating. Britney Spears was no longer just a performer, she was a public entity, and her humanity was often lost in the glare of fame. 2007 became the year the world could no longer ignore the cracks. Britney's life seemed to spiral in ways the public couldn't comprehend. Haircutting incidents, erratic behavior, and highly publicized personal struggles dominated headlines. But these moments were not just tabloid fodder, they were signs of deep mental and emotional turmoil. Experts would later explain that prolonged exposure to high-pressure fame, combined with a lack of personal autonomy, can have devastating effects on mental health. For Britney, the consequences were severe. Her struggles were not merely the result of poor choices, but a reflection of a life lived under constant surveillance and intense expectation, where personal needs were consistently sacrificed for public performance. If you're still here, make sure you subscribe, because what comes next isn't just shocking, it changed the entire conversation around fame and mental health forever. This period also brought the controversial conservatorship into the spotlight. From this moment on, nothing in Britney's life would ever be the same. Britney's father and a team of legal guardians gained control over her finances, career decisions, and even personal life. While officially justified as protection during a time of instability, this arrangement would last for over a decade, raising serious questions about autonomy and human rights. Under the conservatorship, Britney could not make many decisions for herself. What she earned, where she lived, and even whom she could see were all regulated. This level of control created a paradox. She was simultaneously a global icon and a woman stripped of basic freedoms. The conservatorship became a symbol of systemic control, showing how fame can trap even the most successful individuals in cages not visible to the public eye. Despite these challenges, Britney's talent and resilience remained undeniable. She continued to release music, tour, and perform at sold-out shows, often demonstrating a professionalism that defied the chaos in her personal life. Her fans, known as the Britney Army, remained fiercely loyal, offering support and advocacy. Social media and online communities began to amplify her voice in ways traditional media never could. The Free Britney movement emerged, shedding light on the injustices of her conservatorship and advocating for her autonomy. What had once been private struggles became a rallying cry for public awareness and systemic reform, illustrating how fame, while isolating, can also foster solidarity and activism. Britney's story is not just about breakdowns, it's about resilience, reinvention, and the fight for self-determination. In recent years, after the termination of her conservatorship, she has begun reclaiming her life, voice, and identity. While the public remains fascinated by her every move, Britney now has the opportunity to live on her own terms. This chapter of her life represents not just survival, but a triumph over a system that often prioritizes profit over personal well-being. The world is witnessing not just a pop icon, but a woman who endured extraordinary pressure, emerged from intense scrutiny, and continues to redefine her narrative. It reveals how the pursuit of perfection, public adoration, and relentless media attention can intersect to create immense psychological pressure. It is a story that humanizes a figure often seen as larger than life, reminding us that behind every headline is a real person with vulnerabilities, dreams, and struggles. Britney's journey is a testament to the strength required to navigate fame, and a reminder that even the brightest stars cast shadows. Ultimately, the hidden breakdown behind Britney Spears' fame is not just about the struggles, it's about understanding the environment that shaped them. Childhood stardom, intense media scrutiny, loss of autonomy, and the pressures of maintaining an image all contributed to moments of crisis. Yet, within these struggles lies the story of endurance, courage, and transformation. Britney's ability to survive, reclaim her voice, and continue to inspire millions speaks to a resilience that goes beyond music. Britney Spears is no longer just a pop star, she is a symbol of endurance, the complexities of fame, and the fight for personal freedom. Her journey continues to captivate the world, not merely for her music or performances, but for the courage it took to reclaim her life. In the end, the hidden breakdown behind her fame is not a story of defeat, it is a story of survival, reinvention, and the ongoing pursuit of authenticity in a world that often values image over reality. Britney Spears' story is a mirror reflecting the brilliance and brutality of fame. It's a reminder that behind the spotlight, even the strongest stars can struggle, and that resilience is the true measure of greatness. This was Fame and Fortune, where legends rise, fall, and reveal the truths the world never sees. Britney's journey proves that even the brightest icons can break, but some find the strength to rise again. Subscribe, the next story goes even deeper.